7 signs to recognize a toxic person. Stoicism. Life is unpredictable, just like the weather. Just when you think it's going to be all sunshine, there comes a storm. And this unpredictability of life, as the Stoics tell us, is part of the nature of things. But not only is the nature of life unpredictable, so are people. People are unpredictable. We don't know how they're going to behave in any situation until we put them in that situation. You can't always predict what another person is going to do. So how do you identify toxic people? What are the signs that someone might be dangerous? Well, the Stoics, as always, have some ideas about that. So let's talk about 7 signs to recognize a toxic person. Sign No. 1. A toxic person does not take responsibility for their actions. Instead, they blame other people or circumstances for their own mistakes. They refuse to look inward. The Stoics believe that we should always look to our thoughts and our judgments, our opinions about things, as the source of our emotions. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius writes, "Look within, for there you will find the light of day." When something goes wrong, instead of looking outwards and blaming someone else, the Stoics encouraged us to look inwards at ourselves, our beliefs, our expectations, and our thoughts, because ultimately, that is where things start. Epictetus said that most people have opinions about things that they ought not to have opinions about, and this leads them to have passions about things that cause them to suffer. So when something doesn't go right, instead of looking outward and assigning blame, the Stoics would say to look inward and ask yourself, what beliefs do I hold that are causing me to suffer right now? Sign number 2. A toxic person will avoid responsibility whenever possible. They will shy away from challenges and new opportunities because they're afraid of failing. They'll turn down a promotion at work because it scares them. They won't audition for a play because they're afraid of being rejected. They'll avoid having kids because they're scared of not being a good parent. The Stoics would say that fear of responsibility is the source of all evil. In Seneca's words, all vice springs from fear of poverty or disgrace. The Stoics understood that if you're not willing to put yourself out there and risk failure, then you're living a life half-heartedly. And that's not the type of life that the Stoics would encourage you to live. Instead, Marcus Aurelius says, it isn't what happens to you that counts. It's what you do with what happens to you. If you want to rise above the toxic people in your life, you must confront your fears and take responsibility for your life. Sign No. 3. A toxic person will always try to make themselves look better by putting others down. Instead of lifting up the people around them, they tear them down. They gossip about others behind their back. They belittle their accomplishments, and they try to diminish their talents. The Stoics had a name for this kind of person. They called them a flatterer. In the Ennead, the Greek philosopher Plutarch describes the flatterer as someone who is a parasite of the mind instead of the body, someone who feeds off of other people and poisons their minds by saying what they want to hear, even if it's not true. But why do they do this? Why do they feed off of other people and poison their minds? Well, according to Plutarch, the flatterer does this because they're insecure. Deep down inside, they don't think highly of themselves, so they need other people to do it for them. Sign No. 4. A toxic person will try to control the people around them. They treat the people in their lives like possessions, like objects that they own and therefore have the right to control. But why do they do this? Well, the Stoics would say that this desire to control other people is really the desire to control their own fear. You see, the Stoics believe that the only thing that causes us to fear is the idea that someone or something has power over us. But if you're in control, then no one has power over you. Therefore, the only way to stop fearing is to be in control. But as Epictetus pointed out, we can never be in control of other people. The only way to stop fearing other people is to stop trying to control them. Sign No. 5. A toxic person will always be jealous of other people. They'll compare themselves to those around them and envy their talents, their looks, their success, their relationships. In fact, Marcus Aurelius opens Meditations with a meditation on jealousy. He says, think of those who are jealous of you. How they wish that you were what they are, like you in your health, your appearance, your accomplishments. How they wish that you were the object of their envy rather than its source. In Marcus's view, jealousy is really a sign of our own discontentment. It's a sign that we don't appreciate what we have. So if you're constantly comparing yourself to other people and envying their success, then the problem isn't them. The problem is you. Sign No. 6. A toxic person is full of resentment towards other people. They hold grudges against the people in their lives. They're angry about how they were treated in the past, what was said in the past, or some mistake that happened in the past. The Stoics believed that forgiveness was an essential part of living well. In fact, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Forgiveness is a necessary part of love." But why did he think that forgiveness was so important? Well, he knew that holding on to anger and resentment only hurts us. It festers inside of us. It eats away at us. It keeps us stuck in the past. And the only way to move forward, to break free of the cycle of anger and resentment, is to forgive. Sign No. 7. A toxic person is very sensitive to criticism. They get upset over the smallest of things. They feel the need to justify themselves constantly. They feel the need to defend themselves all the time. This constant need to defend yourself shows that deep down inside you lack confidence. You don't think highly of yourself. If you did, you wouldn't feel the need to defend yourself all the time. Marcus Aurelius writes, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The Stoics believed that the key to living a life of virtue and happiness is to be indifferent to things that are not in our control. And this includes other people's opinions. The only opinion that matters is your opinion of yourself. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What does it matter how others feel about you? You can't even control your own feelings about yourself." In the end, these are just a few signs to help you identify the toxic people in your life. Of course, this list isn't exhaustive. There are probably many more signs that you could add to it. And you may be wondering, why would I even want to identify these toxic people in my life? Well, as the Stoics tell us, it's not that we hate these people. It's not that we want to judge them or put them on a pedestal. It's simply that we want to live a good life. And sometimes, as the Stoics tell us, this means cutting your losses. It means distancing yourself from certain people so that you can focus on the things that are in your control, so that you can focus on being the best version of yourself. If you want to learn more about how to be the best version of yourself, we actually have a free guide available. It's called How to Think Like a Stoic, and it's 24 pages filled with some of our favorite quotes, stories, and exercises from the world of Stoic philosophy. It's totally free. All you got to do is click the link in the description. It will be sent straight to your email. You can download it, print it, read it. It's a great little introduction to the world of Stoic philosophy. Also, if you want to support the channel, you can check out our website. There are several different membership levels. All the information is in the description. But we've got monthly and yearly memberships, and it helps us keep the lights on here. We're also on social media. I post there every day. I post a quote from the Stoics, something to help you think like a Stoic. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being fans. We'll see you next time.